been wild lately. Rumors started flying that Rick Ross was trying to take out 50 Cent, but if that was the plan, it didn't work. Curtis Jackson popped back up soon after, energized as ever, sliding right back into old grudges, new tension, and non-stop chaos between two of hip-hop's most powerful figures. So what are we really looking at here? Just another round of loud posturing and online theatrics, or the warning signs of something far more serious? Let's slow it down and unpack the history, because this rivalry didn't start yesterday. When people talk about rap beef, most of the time they mean social media jabs, quick diss tracks, and drama that disappears in a week. That is not what this is. The feud between Rick Ross and 50 Cent has been simmering for nearly 20 years, and neither side has shown any interest in backing down. This is the kind of long-running conflict that keeps fans glued to their screens, waiting for the next insult, lawsuit, or viral moment that shakes the culture. Over the years, these two have traded public insults, legal threats, and relentless mind games. Rick Ross built his Maybach music empire while constantly dealing with 50 Cent's non-stop trolling. And 50? He turned trolling into a brand, almost a business strategy, keeping his name alive both online and in the streets. But before 50 Cent became known as the undisputed king of internet taunts, before the empty Ja Rule concert seats and the viral stunts, there was something far more serious happening in his life. This story turns dark, very dark. Long before the fame and fortune, Curtis Jackson was fighting just to stay alive. On the evening of May 24, 2000, sometime between 7 and 8 p.m., 50 Cent was sitting in a parked Jeep outside his grandmother's home in South Jamaica, Queens, near Guy R. Brewer Boulevard. He was on the phone, doing nothing unusual. It felt like a normal night. Then it wasn't. A gunman approached the vehicle with clear intent. This wasn't a warning, this wasn't intimidation, it was a full-on execution attempt. At close range, the attacker fired repeatedly through the car window. When the shooting stopped, 50 Cent had been hit 9 times. Bullets tore into both of his legs, breaking bones. Others struck his hand, arm, hip, and chest. One round grazed his face, damaging his cheek and jaw, temporarily affecting his speech and leaving scars that remain visible today. Bleeding heavily, barely alive, he was rushed to Jamaica Hospital Medical Center. Doctors fought to save him. He arrived in critical condition, and emergency surgery began immediately. Surgeons removed bullet fragments, repaired shattered bones, and worked tirelessly to stop internal bleeding. For nearly 2 weeks, around 13 long days, he remained hospitalized, undergoing multiple surgeries and facing the most difficult battle of his life. Surviving the shooting was only the first step. The recovery was brutal. Due to severe leg damage, 50 Cent had to learn how to walk. He moved from crutches to a walker, eventually walking with a limp that followed him for years, even as his career took off. His facial injury affected how he spoke, forcing him to work on his speech during recovery. Physical therapy became a daily grind, focused on movement, strength, and managing constant pain from damaged rap rock. 50 mocked Ross over his weight loss journey and frequently compared their business success. 50 pointed to his television empire and the massive vitamin water deal that reportedly earned him over $100 million. Ross fired back by highlighting the growth of Maybach and Power Move. Owning someone's masters means controlling their entire catalog. It quickly racked up millions of views. It resurfaced again in 2014 during another flare-up of the feud. Then, in 2023, TikTok revived it once more, this time with dramatic music, bold captions, and edits labeling the clip things like "Ross snaps on 50's clone." Old footage, new framing, and an algorithm that feeds on controversy created the perfect storm for viral rebirth across multiple platforms. But this feud doesn't exist in a vacuum. To truly understand why the conflict between 50 Cent and Rick Ross has lasted this long, you have to look at their broader histories. Both men have spent decades clashing with rivals across the industry. Starting with 50 Cent. Conflict has always been part of his brand. If someone crossed him or even looked at him the wrong way, he went to war. His most infamous feud remains his long-running battle with Ja Rule and Murder Inc., which began around 1999 and 2000. That conflict is deeply connected to the shooting that nearly killed him, disputes over stolen jewelry, and what followed, a calculated industry shutdown. Once 50 gained power, he used it relentlessly. Diss tracks like Wanksta, Back Down, and Realist Killers, which even featured posthumous vocals from Tupac Shakur, kept the pressure on. Ja Rule responded with songs like Loose Change, but the damage was already done. Through stronger music, industry influence, and non-stop trolling, 50 effectively dismantled Ja Rule's commercial standing. He even bought blocks of Ja Rule's concert tickets just to leave seats empty, creating public humiliation that became legendary in hip-hop history. And the feud still hasn't ended. As recently as 2025, 50 continued mocking developments connected to Irv Gotti's passing, showing that some rivalries never truly reach closure. Then there's his fallout with The Game, which exploded around 2005 and 2006. After The Game was removed from G-Unit over loyalty disputes and his rising solo success, another high-profile feud was born, adding yet another chapter to 50 Cent's long list of industry wars. And that's exactly why this rivalry with Rick Ross feels different. When the back and forth between 50 Cent and The Game escalated fast. Diss tracks flew in both directions, but The Game's 300 bars and rummin' became an instant classic, a non-stop lyrical assault that fans still talk about today. The tension didn't stay limited to music either. It spilled into real life when a shooting occurred outside Hot 97, leaving one of 50 Cent's security team members wounded. Eventually, that feud cooled down. Still, occasional jabs continue to surface from both sides, proving that old grudges in hip-hop rarely disappear completely. Beyond that, 50 also found himself battling Jadakiss, D-Block, and the Lox as part of the larger G-Unit versus Rough Riders and D-Block rivalry. His 2005 diss track, Piggy Bank, took shots at multiple targets in one sweep, including Jadakiss, Fat Joe, and Nas. Fat Joe fired back with My Fofo, but over time the tension faded. Years later, Fat Joe even appeared on 50's television projects, signaling mutual respect and an end to the hostility. The feud with Cameron and Dipset stretched on and off from 2007 to 2017, with brief flare-ups along the way, including a short revival in 2021. As recently as January 2026, 50 inserted himself into renewed drama between Cameron and Jim Jones, stirring the pot on social media and clearly enjoying the chaos from the sidelines. One of the most personal conflicts for 50 involved Young Buck because it came from inside G-Unit. Contract disputes, loyalty questions, and public accusations turned former collaborators into enemies. Buck released diss tracks after leaving the group, and while there have been moments of peace, a full reunion has never happened. Even Nas caught some light fire in 2005. Nas referenced 50 critically on Too Hot and indirectly on Hip Hop Is Dead, while 50 responded on Piggy Bank. That situation never escalated into full war, and both artists appear to recognize each other's greatness without ongoing hostility. More recently, 50 has focused his trolling energy on Diddy, especially amid Diddy's legal troubles between 2024 and 2026. Through posts, jokes, and documentary teases, 50 has kept himself front and center in the conversation, once again proving his instinct for turning controversy into content. Now let's shift to Rick Ross and his own history of conflict beyond 50. Ross had serious tension with Jeezy in the early 2010s over street credibility and dominance in Atlanta's rap scene. Unlike many feuds, this one actually ended positively.
Through mediation, largely credited to DJ Khaled, the two reconciled and eventually collaborated on tracks like War Ready, showing that peace is sometimes possible in hip-hop. Ross's conflict with Drake is much more recent and far more explosive. Once close collaboration in 2015, tension built quietly for years before boiling over in 2024. In April of that year, Ross released Champagne Moments, accusing Drake of cosmetic surgery, mimicking Lil Wayne's style, and sending legal threats to French Montana. The internet ran wild with BBL Drizzy memes. Drake fired back on tracks like Push-Ups. While Ross suggested in May 2025 that he was open to ending the beef, subtle shots have continued from both sides. French Montana got caught in the middle. Dispute resurfaced in 2025, with both sides trading insults related like up when put, and Ross's boss image hasn't made 50 lose interest in provoking him. They're evenly matched, and after nearly 20 years of documented hostility, there's no sign that either man is ready to truly let it go. That's it for today, fam. If you want more deep dives like this, make sure you check out the next video and stay live.